Have you ever felt it? That in the constant deafening cacophony of our modern world, where everyone is screaming for attention, there exists another frequency entirely, a world that runs on a different set of rules. I'm talking about the world of the truly established, of what we call old money. Here, silence isn't just golden, it's the very currency of existence. It's like watching a silent film where each character understands the script so deeply that subtitles become meaningless. In this hushed, rarefied atmosphere, a thoughtless gesture can cause a scandal, and the simple lifting of an eyebrow speaks volumes. A subtle nod can be akin to a Shakespearean soliloquy. But for those of us on the outside, this silent lexicon can feel like an impossible code. So in today's exploration, let's become the translators. Together, we will learn to read the unwritten script of power, influence, and heritage that is communicated without a single word being spoken. But this raises a fundamental question. Why? Why did this hushed dialect of power, this intricate language of silence, ever come to be? To find the answer, we have to journey back in time, long before the first dollar was ever minted. Our journey begins not with bankers or industrialists, but with kings and courtiers in the gilded cages of European palaces. Imagine the court of Louis XIV at Versailles. A world of breathtaking beauty and suffocating pressure, where hundreds of nobles lived under one roof, their lives revolving entirely around the king. In this glittering ecosystem, every single action was a performance, and every performance was judged. Take, for instance, the ceremony of the lever, the king's daily awakening. This wasn't a private moment, it was the first and most important political theatre of the day. As sunlight streamed through the Hall of Mirrors, the highest dukes of the realm would gather in a tense, calculated silence. Their entire careers, their family's honor, could hinge on a single non-verbal privilege, the right to hand the king his shirt. Think about that. This simple act was a public broadcast of one's standing. To be chosen was to be seen as favored by the sun itself. To be overlooked was a silent, devastating judgment witnessed by all your rivals. In this environment, the spoken word was a minefield. A promise could be a lie, flattery could be poison, but a gesture was an irrefutable fact, a clear signpost of power, allegiance, and rank. This wasn't unique to France. From the rigid protocols of the British monarchy to the intricate etiquette of the imperial Russian court, this silent language was the universal dialect of the elite. A fumbled curtsy, an ill-timed glance, holding eye contact for a second too long, these weren't just slips in manners. They were cracks in your armor, moments that could lead to social exile and the ruin of a legacy. And this silent, codified system of power didn't stay in Europe. Like a precious family heirloom, it was exported across the Atlantic, seeping into the foundations of America's own budding aristocracy and taking root in the high societies of the Commonwealth. This historical DNA is why, even today, the truly powerful often say the most when they say nothing at all. And that historical DNA, that ability to say everything with nothing, wasn't just left to chance as it crossed into the modern age. It begs the question, if this is a language, who wrote the dictionary? Enter the great codifiers of American society. Figures like Emily Post, whose landmark book Etiquette first appeared in 1922, and Amy Vanderbilt, with her complete book of etiquette in 1952, these women weren't just writing about which fork to use. They were anthropologists of the elite, meticulously documenting and translating this silent, unwritten code for a new world. Their work made the implicit explicit, creating touchstones that are still referenced today, preserving the rules of a game where the most important moves are made in silence. These rules, however, are just the mechanics. The philosophy behind them is perhaps best encapsulated by that famous British ideal, the stiff upper lip. This isn't about being emotionless, it's about emotional mastery. It's the belief that control over one's own expression is the ultimate sign of strength and stability. It's the quiet confidence of keep calm and carry on lived out in every single interaction. And no one embodied this more than the late Queen Elizabeth II. For 70 years, her power was communicated not through grand speeches, but through a lexicon of subtle gestures. The placement of her handbag was a signal to her staff. A slight tilt of the head, a carefully calibrated smile. Each was a sentence, sometimes a paragraph, broadcast to a global audience. She was a master of saying everything while revealing almost nothing of her inner self. This reveals a profound difference between the goal of that old-world communication and our current digital one. The old code is about signal. It's a clear, concise transmission meant to maintain order, affirm belonging, and subtly enforce exclusivity. It's designed to be understood by a select few. Modern social media, in contrast, is about noise. It's a competition for attention, where the goal is to be the loudest, to go viral, to be radically inclusive. One is a carefully tuned instrument, the other is a fire alarm. So how exactly do you play that instrument? You begin with the most direct, most potent note of all, the eyes. The gaze in the old money lexicon is not a tool for connection, but for assessment and control. Where others might have animated eyes, shifting constantly to seek approval or express every fleeting emotion, the old money gaze is often steady, calm, and observant. It doesn't plead for you to like them, it subtly communicates that they are deciding if they like you. This is, of course, culturally specific. In the West, this sustained contact can signify trustworthiness, while in many Eastern cultures, it can be seen as a sign of disrespect. But in the world of Western elite power, it is a foundational skill. Think back to the first-class dining room in Titanic. The glittering crystal, the unspoken hierarchies, and the gaze of Ruth's mother across the table at Jack Dawson. It isn't loud or angry, it's something far colder. It's a look of complete and utter erasure. With a single, unwavering stare, she communicates that he is not just unwelcome, but that he, in her world, simply does not exist. It's a social expulsion delivered in absolute silence. But this tool can also be used to build, not just to banish. The writer Norman Mailer was fascinated by John F. Kennedy's eyes, describing them as having a forceful but private vision. Kennedy's gaze wasn't about dominating the person he was speaking to. It was about suggesting he saw something beyond them, something more important. It drew people in, made them want to be part of that exclusive, compelling vision. Perhaps no one wields this power more visibly today than Anna Wintour. Those iconic sunglasses are not a mere accessory. They are a piece of modern, nonverbal armor. They create a one-way mirror. She can observe, analyze, and pass judgment, all while her own thoughts remain completely hidden behind an impenetrable facade. It's the ultimate power position, to see without being seen, creating an aura of untouchable authority and inscrutable judgment. The gaze is the opening gambit, the silent declaration of one's place in the room, but it's just the beginning of the performance. And if the gaze is the opening line of the play, then our hands, our posture, our every physical movement, they are the script itself. This is what we might call the ceremonial vocabulary. It's a language written not with ink, but with the body, where every gesture is a word and every posture affirming or challenging the social order. Think of the most fundamental acts of deference, the bow and the curtsy. They are physical acknowledgements of hierarchy. Meghan Markle spoke of her genuine shock when she first learned she was expected to curtsy to the Queen, even in private. In that one moment, a modern American raised in a world of first names and casual equality collided with 1,000 years of British tradition. It was a silent dialogue between two worlds, a potent, instantaneous lesson that rank and respect are not always spoken, but are often performed. This vocabulary extends to our very fingertips. Watch someone in a high-stakes environment. Are their hands fidgeting, tapping, betraying an inner storm of anxiety? Or are their movements fluid, purposeful, and calm? The elite are taught to use their hands with intention, not as nervous appendages, but as tools to punctuate a point, to express conviction, or simply to rest with a quiet confidence that speaks for itself. They don't fill empty air with meaningless motion. Perhaps no story illustrates this transformation better than Eliza Doolittle in My Fair Lady. Professor Higgins's task wasn't just to fix her accent, it was to rewrite her entire physical script. He taught her how to be. This meant mastering the delicate art of holding a teacup, not with an affected, extended pinky, which is a caricature of refinement, but with a natural, relaxed grace that signals true ease. It meant learning that a lady's fan was not merely for cooling the air, but a subtle instrument for flirtation, for hiding a whisper, or for ending a conversation with a decisive snap. Above all, it was about posture. Shoulders back, spine straight, the act of occupying one's space with a quiet authority that says, "I belong here," long before a single word is ever uttered. Because once you have mastered this physical script, the performance is far from over. The next test, and perhaps the most revealing of all, often comes when you are invited to the table. And at that table, a new set of silent rules comes into play. A choreography of objects and space where every fork and every chair has a specific, unspoken role. It's a minefield of social cues, famously captured in the film Pretty Woman. Remember that scene? When Julia Roberts' character, Vivian, is faced with an intimidating arsenal of silverware, it's more than just a funny moment. Each fork she doesn't recognize is a silent question she can't answer, and her confusion is a spotlight, instantly marking her as an outsider. This choreography extends beyond the cutlery. The seating chart at a formal dinner isn't just about logistics. It's a living map of the social hierarchy for that evening. Proximity to the host isn't a matter of convenience. It's a direct, public measure of your influence and favor within that circle. And this silent dialogue with space finds its most profound expression in the home. Here, it's not about how much you own, but how you own it. This aesthetic of understated confidence has a name, a beautiful Italian concept, Sprezzatura. It's the art of studied carelessness, of making the difficult and deliberate look completely effortless. It's the whisper-soft cashmere throw, draped as if by chance over a worn, inherited armchair. It's a stack of genuinely well-read books on a side table, not a perfectly aligned set of decorative objects. It creates a feeling of a life being lived, of history being present in the room. This is the polar opposite of an interior that feels like an untouchable showroom, a space that screams its price tag but has no soul. In a home curated with Sprezzatura, you feel invited in, welcomed by its quiet confidence. In a showroom, you feel like an intruder, afraid you might smudge the glass. This mastery of the personal environment, this lived-in, effortless elegance is the backdrop. But the final layer of this silent language is the one you wear on your own skin. It's your wardrobe. The most immediate, most visible, and often the most misunderstood dialect in the entire lexicon of wealth. For the old money world, clothing is a minimalist symphony. It's an investment in understated excellence, a private conversation about quality that is felt, not seen. The language here is spoken through the soft whisper of a Loro Piana cashmere sweater, the cool touch of fine linen, the perfect drape of a coat from a brand like the Row or Brunello Cucinelli. There are no loud logos. The value is intrinsic, woven into the very fibers. It's for the wearer, not the observer. The confidence comes from knowing the quality, not from advertising the price tag. And then there is the other approach. The wardrobe as a billboard, where fashion's purpose is to announce one's arrival as loudly as an ambulance siren. This is where status is demonstrated through overt, instantly recognizable branding, the interlocking G's of Gucci, the ubiquitous LV monogram. It's not necessarily about a lack of taste, but a different objective entirely: to ensure that financial success is visible, undeniable, and immediate. Think of Cher in the movie Clueless. Her iconic yellow plaid suit wasn't just an outfit, it was a declaration, a carefully chosen costume for the main character in the story of her own life, selected from a revolutionary digital closet. The goal was to be seen, to be iconic. Fast forward to today, and you see this philosophy amplified in the aesthetic popularized by the Kardashians. It is a masterclass in the threaded spectacle. The corsets, the neon colors, the head-to-toe branded looks, it's a conscious strategy of visibility. It transforms the body into a canvas for success, ensuring that in the crowded world of social media, their signal is the loudest. It's a different dialect, born of a different time, with an entirely different dictionary. But after all this spectacle, after all this noise, we arrive at the quiet, profound heart of our journey today. We peel back the final layer and find the ultimate secret that underpins this entire silent language. In a world where people definitely have more of everything they want, the most powerful signal you can send is restraint. Less truly is more. It's not about what you have, but how you hold it. So the question I want to leave you with is this: what if you started to see the world through this lens, to consciously look for this silent language playing out all around you? On your next commute, at your next family gathering, or even just scrolling through your feed? What if you began to listen not just to what is said, but to the powerful stories told in a held gaze, a deliberate pause, or the simple choice of a navy sweater over a logo? It's like learning to read the music behind the words, and it can change the way you perceive everything. And that brings me to my favorite part of all this, which is hearing from you. We've built such a thoughtful community here, and your stories are genuinely the highlight. In the comments below, I would love for you to share one iconic story from your own life, a book you love, or a film you can't forget that you feel perfectly demonstrates this art of non-verbal power. We've had some incredible comments in the past from people who've worked with the Grosvenors or met a Vanderbilt, and those insights are priceless. If you enjoyed this exploration and want to continue our journey into the art of living beautifully, please consider liking this video and subscribing. It truly helps our little community grow. Thank you so much for your time and your wonderful minds. I'll see you in the next one.